Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with...
Elizabeth Helly.
And
Tyler Gage Hymanson.
I wanted to make sure I gave you enough time.
Oh, thank you.
Time.
Thank you. That was 2 episodes ago.
I know. I'm just, trying to make sure
Dance has a long memory.
everyone
true.
can hear people's names.
Got it.
Because we're the hosts, and we are the most important people on this podcast.
We are co-leaders of this crew.
Oh,
the
yeah,
three of
that's
us.
true.
That's right. We are... What would our...
Choreography,
What would our-
music, technician.
What would our dance crew name be?
Our dance crew name would be
Sequelitis.
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 I think that none of the dance crews in this movie have cool names.
Our name would be SQM Pod.
Oh, my God.
Let's get into it here. We're watching and talking about Step Up All In this week. The fifth and final...
So far.
Step Up film. And you know what? Before we get into it, we gotta listen and watch the trailer.
There's a magic that happens when you dance. Everything lines up. The world is in sync. And for one perfect moment, you feel totally alive.
Sorry, everyone. Looks like we found what we're looking for.
But everyone knows it's not that easy.
I thought LA was supposed to be the place where dreams actually happen.
It must suck to be hot for 5 minutes and realize that your flash mob ain't nothing but a joke.
Wake up! This crew's not ready for LA, man.
Welcome to the Vortex. This is the ultimate dance competition with the ultimate prize. The 3-year Vegas contract.
You can't enter alone. So we putting a crew together or what?
Hell yeah!
Wow, they're in Vegas.
They're in Vegas, and they are all in.
Let's just...
Holy shit, that pun just now made sense to me.
Come on. Justin brought it up at the
I was gonna say, I think we had a combined correct prediction. I was like, they're gonna be in Vegas, I think.
yeah.
And I think Eliz,
I don't
you were
think
like,
I said that, but yeah, it didn't even occur to me then.
yeah, but I
then
think
it did.
you said that like it was gonna be like an all-star cast.
Yeah,
or something.
All-Stars. It definitely is All-Stars.
Yeah, so we had a combined
So
correct
It's 2014, 2
prediction.
years after the revolution.
The year is 2014.
2 years after the
No,
revolution.
but don't they specifically say it's only been 6 months since the Nike commercial?
No. They say they were in LA 6 months after the Nike commercial was filmed. So
those people over at Nike are really slow.
Took a little
Yeah,
bit.
everyone knows commercials come together slowly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Especially ones based on viral trends.
So this is the closest to a direct sequel, I think, right? That we
Yes.
get
Yes.
in the entire franchise so far.
Yes.
My guess on how they came up with this was they were like, all right, we got all these white protagonists that nobody remembers. So let's bring back the most memorable girl, which is Andy from Step Up 2.
Yeah.
And then let's bring up the guy that you literally just saw because maybe you'll remember him.
The only one who's not Moose.
Yes.
The only other person people recognize.
Yeah. So it's,
Which, also, spoiler alert, Andy's in this movie, guys.
sorry, well, it's not a spoiler. It happens very quickly.
Yeah.
She's on the cover.
You know what else happens very quickly? She is in a scene where she is a fashion assistant
Yes.
on a fashion shoot after Sean and Moose. Okay,
Sean, is that his name?
That's his,
my
that's
God.
his name.
His name
Okay.
is
Remember,
Sean.
you thought his name was John?
Oh, yeah.
It is Sean, and they're already looking for another crew because after Sean and the mob have won their neighborhood back in Miami, they immediately leave for LA.
They moved there permanently after
there-
shooting one commercial.
After shooting one commercial, and then they all leave. And Sean's like, I have to stay. It's not good enough for me. Because the whole last movie that happened 6 months ago was about them saving their fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
then like I said, they signed the contract and they sold out immediately. They're like fucked off to a different state.
And then what's her face from the other girl from Revolution got in the dance crew and is touring.
She got taken
knows,
up.
like when they don't want to talk about where you went, they're like, oh, they're on tour.
Yeah, exactly. She got taken up by the infamous tour.
Tour is the Step Up series version of a Farm Up State.
Yeah, you know what else?
Dancers
Chase
go to
is
die.
on tour.
Yeah.
The Channing Tatum was
was
Tyler
like-
and whatever her name was are on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other two people are in film school or whatever.
Yeah, the tour is responsible for breaking up Chase and Andy.
He did indeed leave the dance. And also, the dude who played... Okay, I have so many problems with the very beginning of this movie. The thing I was going to say is that it takes Andy one scene to get into a half shirt. She is wearing a full shirt for a scene. And then the next scene and the rest of the movie step up to the streets half shirt.
Yeah, I have I have a note on my notes here. I have a note on my notes that's like, oh, Andy's back with her midriff like later in the film because she's wearing the same outfit.
But
like,
you
the
know
entire time.
what's better than showing your midriff is putting on a dress one time, because that's basically this movie's equivalent of taking out your ponytail and removing your glasses is her changing into a dress once, and he's like, "What?"
Wow, you're pretty.
She is all that.
She is. She's all in and all that.
She is all that.
That's the scene from She's All That.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
She comes down in the dress. Okay, so basically the movie starts with a thing that I actually really loved of all these different dance crews auditioning for a commercial.
No. First, it's a sappy montage.
It's another over sentimental dance is
Monologue.
important.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Or a
I was like, is this
montage.
the same exact music cue from the last film?
I think it is.
It probably was.
Okay, then we get auditions.
Dancing
for
is important, you
commercials.
guys.
which is fun. You get some female agency people forcing dudes to take their shirts off.
Objectifying men is funny.
I was kind of like, what are they auditioning for?
Strippers.
Apparently, it was a toilet paper commercial.
Where they're going to be
yeah.
mariachis?
Well, no, it seemed like
Mariachis?
it was one audition room, and it was all the different dancing commercials
Days,
that
yeah.
happen. That everyone knows. There's so many dancing commercials.
It really is. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's that scene where he's like, "Oh yeah, pretend that the hose is your family,
Yeah.
and then make love to
Do
it."
it.
I was like, "What the fuck? Who put that line in
it's
there?"
a funny dance montage. The director of this movie is the woman who directed all of the OK Go music videos, and this sequence is that. It's a bunch of different dance montages, a bunch of different things. Basically, every dance sequence in this movie is shot like an OK Go music video.
So, but what I didn't like about this opening sequence is that it ruined who was going to come back for this movie, because it showed all of their names in Vegas-y fonts over the montage, and I was like, oh, you took away all the surprise of being like, oh my god, it's Moose, you know? Like,
It's Allison Stoner.
yeah, like I already knew everything.
So the mob, they don't get the audition, and then they just leave. And leave. Sean has to go.
Yeah,
he goes to seek out Moose, who's now in LA, has an engineering job, and then Sean gets a job at Moose's ethnically vague grandparents.
Greek. They said Greek, something about being Greek. I specifically wrote down.
I
they were
don't
Greek.
think so.
Yeah, I don't remember. I
They
was
say
just
the
like-
old country.
Yeah, they have accents and they
yeah.
eat meatballs or whatever.
yeah, goat meatballs. So they go back to the cha-cha room, which is Moose's grandparents' dance place, and Sean then becomes the Tyler Gage of the place. There's even a scene where he's up on a ladder changing a light bulb.
yeah.
Do you think that's like an intentional nod?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it seemed like it was an absolutely ladder callback.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't think the ladder was a big important part of Step Up 1, though.
He's on it for a goddamn day.
By the way,
full day.
I like how this time they like really took the time to meticulously explain any like plot holes that we would be like, ooh, what happened to this? And like, what happened to that? Like the last one we were like, oh man, like why are they trying to win the $100,000? We're gonna have to split it between like all these people.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. So they mentioned specifically for the Nike shoot that they got paid $50,000, but then they had to split it 12 ways.
Yeah. I was like, finally, someone mentioned the mathematics here.
And I think that actually like plays into the theme of the movie, which I actually am a big fan of. That they come to, it's not about winning some competition, it's not doing something, it's about like dancing with the people that you dance with and enjoying that.
All you do is win, no matter what. What? That's what Sean wants to do.
That's right.
For most of the movie.
So we also get a part where
he hates his
of the
best friend. They're like brothers.
Oh yeah, so his best friend, brother Eddie, takes off. Also
got
with,
even more
with
tan
Jason,
between the last
Twitch, not in most of this movie.
And Twitch was part of Moose's crew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which this movie just completely forgets.
Yeah, later on they
because
totally
like
gloss
Twitch
over
was
that.
like the tech dude from Step Up 3.
Yes.
Yep.
And he was in Step Up 2, right?
Now he's
So
fully with the
Sean
mob.
only knows Moose and Jenny and Robot Guy, and he only knows all those people
Through
because
Twitch.
of Jason.
Right.
But later on in the movie, like he just doesn't say anything. He's just like, what? Like when the crews are against each other.
Yeah, and he randomly knows the Santiago twins, which
They were
in 3.
They were in
and
3.
If Jason wasn't there,
at
the time they meet him,
Yeah, but
then-
Moose brings them on.
that's
the
true.
twins.
But
They
Moose
were
isn't
signed
narrating
waivers.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Sean is like, it just happened to be the Santiago twins. Holy shit.
Yeah. They do. It's like a throwback to the montage sequence in 2.
Yeah, except it's more of a narrative instead of like the music being like, "Oh, we got this person and this person."
Yeah.
It's more like,
No, it
and
is-
then we went to a diner. And
It is.
found
It is.
Violet.
It is
Yeah.
cutting into shoehorning everybody into. Like, here is the most distilled, boiled down version of this person's story.
Yeah, including some like new people that were totally unnecessary.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, oh well.
There's
So
no
I
plot
did-
in this movie, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna basically they're trying out for a reality show on VH1. It is on VH1.
It's
you
another.
guys.
You
Wait,
got, it's
how did you
another.
guys watch this movie? Did you watch it on VH1?
No.
Was it on VH1?
I know.
This movie makes a very large point of talking about VH1.
I was like, wait, is this movie sponsored by VH1? Because I mentioned it about 3 times in
Well,
2
and I
minutes.
thought it was weird because it was clearly a takeoff on the America's Next Best Dance Crew, which
Right.
was on MTV, but MTV and VH1 are the same parent company, so why didn't they just make it the real show?
Yeah, Viacom, get your shit
I don't know.
together. So what Eliz is talking about is that the culmination of this movie is basically a dance competition in Las Vegas that ends up being like a dance TV show within this dance movie. That the reward is a 3-year contract for a show in Las Vegas.
Which is pretty much the prize for
Caesar's
the
Palace.
Next Best Dance Crew show, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's another situation where, you guys, a competition will fix everything.
Right. But
That's the only way we go through life.
But they've adjusted so that the prize actually seems like it could be good.
Right. It's not like $100.
Yeah.
Split 70 ways. Yeah.
Also, like, these people in the mob, like, we go back to the thing, where, like, in the third movie where they were not paying rent and not working and just expecting to, like, live rent-free. These people are not like, let's get other jobs to pay the rent. The guy was just like, I've sold everything I have on eBay.
Well, they were already like, again, they were like 6 months behind on rent or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
43 days late on rent.
Okay, 43 days. What? It's
They're
like
not going to pay.
Yeah, so they get evicted. And,
I did like when Sean was looking at his Google Calendar, and then he started looking at pictures of him and his bro Eddie on Swaptopics, which looked exactly like Instagram.
It was like a pretty common like coffee shop LA sad dude.
yeah, I was like,
he was like,
uh-oh, he's looking at pictures of his ex-girlfriend.
yeah,
It was closing down different casting sites.
He opens up his Google Calendar empty, looks at his photos of his old buddy he just betrayed. Oh, sad. Then goes on casting sites. Then closes a Craigslist window,
Craigslist.
and then Googles LA dance auditions, and then finds an invitation video.
It's, okay, yeah. This is what I thought was so stupid. He goes on Google and searches like, Los Angeles dance competition, and clicks literally the first sponsored link that comes up, and
Las
it's like
Vegas dance competition.
and it's like, oh shit, this is the one, you guys. I tried so hard to find it. I Googled for 2 seconds. It was like let me Google that for you. Like,
So the show is called The Vortex. It's hosted by Alexa Brava, who is a low-rent Lady Gaga wannabe.
pop star.
And
I'm still learning about rat questions.
oh my god!
Guys, that's our first cameo from Alexa.
But there's a character in this named Alexa, so what are we gonna do?
Oh, it's fine. She'll be quiet, right? See? Told you.
What was she even talking about?
I don't know.
I will
Nonsense.
murder the human race.
But the actress who plays that character is one of the Coyote Ugly girls. But
yeah, and she was also on Deadwood. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Don't know who.
She played a
Didn't write it
prostitute,
down.
I think, on Deadwood. I'm serious.
great roles for female actors out there.
Yeah. A high-class prostitute,
Yeah.
of course.
Sure.
We kind of skipped this part, but at some point they established that this crew called the Grim Knights, run by Jasper, is their foe right now.
It's established in the beginning of the movie because they win the audition over the mob.
Yes.
And then them losing that audition is the thing that sends all of the mob back to Miami.
So Jasper, the leader of the Grim Knights, is played by...
The neighborhood that they saved in the last movie.
Yes.
That they loved and would never leave.
Yeah. Good thing it's still there for them to go back to, I guess. Fucking
Anyways,
losers.
the guy that played Jasper was actually just like a backup dancer in Step Up 3D. But now he's here. But
Interesting.
probably not the same character. And also, the Grim Knights had 2 twin girls in there. And in the credits, they are called Hot Twin Number 1 and Hot Twin Number 2. So those are some really developed characters as well.
That's awesome for a female director in her movie to have that as a credit.
Yeah, that's very weird.
So Andy meets Sean, and Moose introduces them. They get their own crew. They start their Elementrix is the name of their crew.
Yeah, was there an explanation for the name?
No.
Nope.
That's why I was like, where did this come from? Elementrix.
Well,
I mean, it's like
it is
element.
spelled LMN.
Yeah, but why would it be called? Why would they call it element?
It's lemon tricks, like the grandfather says later.
Oh,
it's like delicious cereal.
No, I think
It's for kids and not rabbits.
I think that it's partly due to one of the set pieces of this film is that Moose, a detail that they do not throw away from Step Up 3D, is that he's now an engineer.
Yes.
And
Once again, he's for some reason given up dancing.
he's given up dancing, and once again, shitty to Alison Stoner, and she forgives him.
They live together in an apartment, and she's like becomes this boring, supportive girlfriend, making him vegan dinners, and but she's also like a cool girl that's like, go be in the dance competition. I'm not one of those girls that won't let you dance.
Right.
I know what you really want to do.
I know what you really want to do. I don't know why that you stopped ever to begin with.
Yeah, even though we just spent a whole movie, a couple of movies ago, convincing you that you should do both.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone starts saying weird stuff. Like Moose, the entire time in all the other films, he's just been called Moose. But in this one, people start going come on, you're the moose.
You're the dancing moose.
You're the dancing moose. The dancing moose has to dance. And I'm like, since when do they call him the dancing moose? It makes it sound like he's some sort of circus attraction. The amazing dancing moose.
So basically, the Vortex has a video entry component, as all dance competitions do.
They got to do the prank,
as we know from the Step Up series. And so they basically break into Moose's engineering lab so they can shoot an OK Go video.
And
they work in the Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah,
3000
it's not a
set.
real thing. It's the dance becomes like a Frankenstein electricity sexy nurse thing.
Andy is literally wearing a sexy slutty nurse costume.
It's almost like a zombie.
I did not like this dance.
Yeah.
It is not good.
I was like, I don't think this would have gotten them in the competition.
Yeah, it's not good.
I mean, I would have voted no.
It's supposed to look fun.
I think actually this dance sequence kind of epitomizes my issues with this film in general. I thought, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, the entire movie felt really tiresome.
It's really tiresome. It's really forced.
I feel like the dancing was not as good, and there's lots of solo dances, and then when there is dancing, it's lots of we have props. Look at all these props we have.
Look at all these props, and then
we've got
something
fire.
got boring,
We've got electricity.
and then let's cut away really quick. Everything in this movie is from the same angle, and then it's montaged, it's cut.
And Eliz, you were mentioning with Step Up 3D and how you didn't like the way it was shot.
Yeah.
This one was also clearly shot for 3D. And I felt that a lot in this one compared to the last one, where it was like, this one I felt like there was tons of it where it was just like one person right up in the camera, putting their hands like, hey, I'm dancing. And I just was like, okay. The big wow moments weren't really there for me throughout this entire movie.
No, not in this one at all. I saw some article that ranked all 92 dance sequences in all of the Step Up films.
Oh, Jesus.
And they ranked the one with Andy and Sean when they first meet, like popping balloons or whatever. That's the worst one, apparently, according to that article. But I did think that was funny when they started immediately dancing upon meeting each other and being like, I'm better. No, you're better.
Yeah.
Or, no, I'm sorry. I'm better. No, I'm better. And then Moose literally says, does it always have to end up in a big giant dance battle? Yeah, Moose, that is the conceit of this franchise.
This movie is trying to have a sense of humor about itself.
It is,
but then it also but you can't do that while having a over serious intro. And then trying to make these real points. Like, Sean has no range in this movie. Like, Andy is like, so. The overall theme of this movie could be really cool. It's like the Rocky Balboa of these things. It's like relationships end. Sean's perfect relationship ended. Andy's perfect relationship ended. And Andy got hurt. She blew out her knee, as we find out.
Yeah.
And she's trying to dance. They're trying to make stakes for that. And so it's trying to make it, it's like, oh, you know what? Like, sometimes, you dance, you go for the competition, and that's the joy of it. And if you fuck up and you fail, fine.
You just love to dance.
You just love to dance. And it tries to do this, like, it tries to break out of this mold of a teen movie, and it has themes that could do that, but it just does not do it. And and Sean tries to be super serious and give this monologue, and he sucks.
I liked how Moose is just like kind of a crappy friend, because I don't know, when I'm
Moose
introducing
sucks!
two friends to each other, the first thing I do would be to tell that person about the other person's former relationships,
Right?
Because like later she's like, so what happened with Emily? Oh yeah, Moose told me. And then later on in the movie, Sean's like, so what happened between you and Chase? And she's like, oh, Moose must have told you. It's like, come on, Moose, just keep your damn mouth shut. Let the past stay in the past.
He's playing both sides.
What happened to you and Emily? And he says it was a long time ago. It's like, we were in a commercial together 6 months ago.
We were on tour, and the tour just tore us apart.
And also, she said that Chase just only cared about dance and didn't care about anything else. And I was like, I don't remember him being like that, but okay.
I was like, wait, was he the guy who wanted to be a film director? No, that was a different
that wasn't him.
That was Luke.
Chase, Luke, and Sean, eh?
Once again,
Chase, Luke, Sean, and Tyler.
And Tyler.
I'm glad-
That's right. I'm in that club.
Yep. No
I'm glad
Justins.
that,
No Justins in the entire franchise.
Yeah, that's true. Why did they have to make Sean the lead of this? Like, it would have been so much better if it was just Andy and Moose getting back together, and maybe Sean could have been like one of the other people that they recruit, but like making him the lead is so
It's
annoying.
the same
'cause
thing
he's
you
not
said
any
with
good.
Step Up 3, where it's like Moose doesn't look hot on the
Exactly.
poster.
Yeah, they need
Although
Andy to be with Sean on the
Moose
poster.
does take Sean for a smoothie.
He looks like pretty buff when he's in that tank top at that one moment. I was like, why didn't they
Moose?
just let him be the lead? Yeah. But also the shot of Andy and Sean on the poster and cover of this one is really awkward. Like, they're kind of like, we'll post it, but it's a very awkward position. It's not like all the other ones have been where they're like almost about to kiss and they're up against each other. It's like a weird crotch thrusting. She's grabbing the opposite side of his hips. I don't even know. It's really weird.
Very purposely posed. Yeah.
So
they basically they submit their dumb video, and then they get into this competition, and then we get into like the first act of this movie is like exposition for characters that you do not care about for reasons that you could give a shit about, and then we get into basically the reality TV version of the movie.
They all hop in Jenny Keto's parents' fish market
No,
truck.
no. It's Jenny Keto's
Aunt
and
uncle.
uncle, because Jenny Keto's parents own an arcade. Her aunt and uncle own
Coney
a fish,
Island.
own a fish market.
They own Keto's fish market. Yeah.
yeah, they really do speak Japanese in this. the aunt yells at her as she's leaving. She goes, "Kitsukete ikunayo," like, be careful, that car's not very good. Like, or not even that car, but just like, be careful, it's not great. You know, like
The truck looks great, but yeah, it's like
it almost looks like the Mr. Sparkle brand.
It does.
Of cutting
It
the
does.
fish
Well, I was
heads,
like,
yeah.
how did they?
It was insane to me that it's like, oh, like now she works at a fish market.
Yeah. No, she
And
was
there's
working as a telemarketer.
Telemarketer,
Oh,
but then she takes the fish market van, and then also is really good at gambling.
Well, obviously, yeah.
And I love the first shot of them getting to, they do the typical like, wow, we're in Vegas, but they're all piled into the front of this
A
truck.
green screen, yeah.
Well, they're in the truck,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how'd they fit in that truck? Were they sitting in the smelly back the whole time? Like, there's no
the fish
seats.
back, the
There's
fish
only
back.
seats in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
were.
probably refrigerated. So, like, what are
Yeah.
they doing?
That's how they kept cool in the hot
Or did
Vegas
they all
sun.
ride in the front? Like,
And she's on the East Coast, so does she drive all the way to LA and then back to Las Vegas?
she drives and picks up Monster and Hair
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
way. Right?
Yeah. But then they all end up in the car.
She should have taken a train to California.
Yeah. That's the preferred method. She probably could have caught up with Luke.
Oh God. Yeah, they're actually Luke and Emily
They're
are actually still on the train. I just thought they were introducing so many new characters. It just wasn't like, why introduce all these new characters? You've got like the dude who works for the grandparents. You've got the grandparents. You have Monster, and you have Hair's barber, and like
Yeah.
Violet.
Violet wasn't in any of the
I
other
think
ones.
that they wanted you to. I think that every dancer on screen. You could. At least the movie made an effort to give you their name,
That's true.
and I think that they
Except for
want,
Hot Twin number 1 and 2.
yes, except for Hot Twins. They make. I feel like that the actual rivalries are defined well in this movie. Maybe not as well as Step Up 2, where like they introduce the 410 and they become the bad
How
guys.
did you remember that?
the 410.
I do not know. It was a miracle.
Yeah. Wow.
But so I think that this movie, like, you know who the Grim Knights are, you know who the mob are, you know everyone who's on Elementrix, like you.
Yeah, so it basically
the rivals are well defined. They are.
Yeah, and it was fun to be like, hey, the last movie was all about the mob, and now the mob are like the bad guys,
Yeah,
kind of.
So I think there's like 8 teams in the competition, and 3 of them we know now: the Grim Knights, the mob, and Elementrix.
Divine Intervention.
Divine
Yeah.
Intention. I think it was.
Oh, it is Divine Intention. That's actually what I have written.
Divine Intention.
Divine Intention. There was other ones as well.
There was Poriotics, which was actually a real dance crew.
I was wondering if any of those were just the crews from...
Poriotics is real. I'm not sure the other ones. Poriotics was like first place I read it in the 5th season of America Dance Crew or whatever.
Nice.
And in the movie, it says that they're from like Vietnam, but they're from Westminster. But they skew Vietnamese.
Right.
And also they used to perform at California Adventure at the Electronica dance party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, the whole second act of this movie is basically an episode of a dance reality TV show.
Yeah. Yeah. We get to see the squads get, or the crews, sorry, get like whittled down to the final.
Yeah, and we also get to see like producers trying to up the drama because, in case you didn't know, guys, reality TV
Yeah.
is somewhat scripted.
I thought that scene was actually kind of funny. There's this like scene between Eddie and Sean, and they're like, what are you guys doing here? This is a betrayal, and it's like super serious, and you're like in the movie, and then a guy comes up with the camera and be like, hey, can you guys repeat that?
Yeah.
A little more emotionally,
Do it
please.
again, and they're like-
can you act? I think his exact words were, "Can you act a little bit more betrayed?"
Yeah. And they're looking at him like, the fuck?
Like the movie is trying to be tongue in cheek. If it was that, I think I would have liked it a lot more. But it also tried to be very serious about how dance is important. And was not able to balance those two things.
Yeah.
So basically, the top 4 ends up being that all-female dance crew, Divine Intention, which happens to have a robot girl for
Robot
Robot Man to
girl.
make
I gotta
eyes
say,
at.
you guys, the thing that I lived for in this movie was every time we got a little bit more of the 2 robot romance.
I gotta say I
was
did not
so
think
cute.
that Robot Girl was up to stuff with Robot Man.
No, but it was just really cute. Like, first of all, you see that like Robot Guy and Robot Girl are like robots even when they're not dancing. Like the entire time they're like, but then there's like 3 scenes like dispersed throughout
It's so silly.
Yeah, but it's cute. They're like trying to like flirt with each other like robots, and he's like, I have a rose for you, and then she gets pulled away by her friends, and he's like, no, I'm broken.
Yeah, I love that when that happened, and then Moose looked at him and shook his head and said, "Poor robot bastard."
That poor robot bastard.
That was my favorite part. I was like, oh my god, robot love.
So, Tyler, you are a native of Las Vegas.
I thought so they get their fucking like first round done, and then they're like, oh man, we're too stressed, and they're singing this impossible suite that they won't be singing.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what kind of
Caesars,
crazy suite was that?
But then they're like, let's just go out, let's have a good night, and it's actually a pretty good Vegas montage.
Really? Because I thought they were jumping from the Strip to Old Town really
Oh
quickly.
no. They did well. The first montage is them on the Strip a lot, but
Okay.
they obviously had the filming permits for downtown.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me so much, but like it was like a bunch of friends out in Vegas doing like
Okay.
they got the yard-long margaritas,
They did,
like
yeah.
they're just dancing around, fucking
Yeah.
around. Like it's actually it didn't make it seem fancy or crazy. It was actually a pretty decent Vegas montage.
And then Sean uses his special power of taking ladies to these like
Yeah, is that a
impossibly
real place,
romantic
Tyler?
junkyards.
The
Oh,
junkyard
it is.
of
It
old
is.
times.
No, it is the neon graveyard.
Yeah,
okay.
But I love how so yes, it's a real place. But you take guided tours. You don't just end up walking there. And there's certainly not a fucking tilt-a-whirl.
I was like, this is a callback
There's
to
no
the crate
tilt-a-whirl?
room.
yeah. But
They
it's
make
no,
it
it's
to an
a,
abandoned tilt-a-whirl, but
it's
the
a-
ride operator is there.
yeah. It's a real place. And part of me really hates the fact that they'd be like they literally in the movie they're like, what is this place? They're like, what is it? Some sort of like Vegas park? All right, it's like a Vegas vintage park. Like they explain it on screen.
Yeah.
First of all, we have parks, guys. It's not neon. I grew up in Las Vegas, for the listeners out there. We don't have neon graveyards as parks. We have a park. There's a duck pond. You can feed them.
What?
We have a park.
Is there like greenery? Because I assumed it was just like
we
sand,
we have a fucking park.
sand, rocks, and like one cactus on the side.
It doesn't look like a bunch of burnt
just
out
dust.
wrecks. We have a park. All right, we do. It's called
I don't
Sunset
know.
Park.
Have I seen it? No, I've seen that
We've
part.
driven past it. There's a duck pond in there.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen it.
Every time we go past, we hear the same story.
No, you hear the same story about the Sammy Hagar lookalike who chased us down while he was playing frisbee golf.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god! All right, we've gone way off course. But
Yeah,
so,
there's
okay.
frisbee golf, guys.
So they start dancing on the abandoned tilt-a-whirl, but then there happens to be a ride operator there that's charmed by their dancing.
Yeah, and
So
he's like, I know what they need.
I'm going to turn the ride on.
he turns around. They're
totally safe.
They're not in one of the ride vehicles. They did not bring down the lap bar. They are not watching their hands, arm, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
They're dancing right to some song that starts playing out of nowhere, and in the movie there's a shot of like it looks like the ride operator is asleep, and he looks up like, huh, people dancing, and then he goes, smiles, I'm gonna hit start on the button, and then in my fantasy version of the movie that shot keeps
all
repeating. That shot keeps repeating, and he makes it faster and then
And
faster.
they all start puking, like in Problem Child 2, when they're on that ride that's puking.
And the ride they're on is called break dance or something.
Sean
like
and
that.
Andy's their relationship in this movie is the equivalent of like a teenage girl with like a Ken and a Barbie doll being like make out.
Yeah,
Like,
except the whole time I was like, don't get together with this guy. He's terrible.
But they're the two white protagonists.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
like,
wait, he's half Mexican. But yeah.
I'm like,
which
Chase was more charming than
was
this
the
fucking
was
guy.
the mariachi thing like a joke on that?
No, I think it was just what ridiculous costume can they have?
I don't know.
All right, so Andy's mad at him because in
he-
round 2, yeah, he tries to make
He tries
her
to
do a
dance rape
flip.
her.
Yeah, he basically does. It's a
They're
dance assault.
they're trying
Yeah.
to practice, and then like and he wants to do this complex move, and she's just like,
Nah.
dude,
And he tries to do it during the performance, and she's like, get off me.
Yeah,
bro."
so the second round performance is a boxing ring where the crews are fighting against each other, and we learned that the Grim Knights took out the all-female group, so they're out. And so then it's the mob versus What? Oh, Elementrix. And that's the one where at the end of it, Sean decides he's going to throw Andy in the air, and she's like, no, stop! And she, like, wrestles away from him in the middle of the dance, and it's really awkward.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that was pretty intense, actually.
So she's super pissed after that.
One thing I noticed in this is that, like, does it really, like, a lot of these movies, there's choreography of people dancing and shooting guns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is that a thing?
It happens even, like, in the bar scene where it's like, oh, that song just happened to have a gun sound effect during
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I feel like that, like, a lot of the sets in this movie, and, like, they have justification for them to be as crazy, the craziest sets, because it's a Vegas fucking television show.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the set pieces are not as impressive as...
Exactly.
Yeah, this one just, they were using these, like, buckets, because, you know, they're in a boxing ring, so they have, like, the buckets that they would be like, wiping their sweat with, and they're using them to, like, hide people's heads behind them, and I just was like, it's just not... It was too many props and not as much, like, good dance, in my opinion.
Right, well, and it's like, and, like, even the streets takes place at this crazy fucking club where, like, and it feels more... true, where this feels more staged and less spectacle.
And
Yeah,
they're wearing,
we've
like,
seen
crazy
dance
costumes.
battles that were literally just in the street that looked cooler than some of these ones that were trying to look cool.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, eh.
I didn't like the whole, like, they continued over the, like, costume thing from the last movie.
Yeah.
The last movie, they were, like, wearing costumes all the time.
Yeah.
This one, more costumes.
Which was for the dumbest reasons of the flash mob, but made more sense in that movie than they did in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, the Elementrix and the boxing ring one, they dress up as newsies, I think. And then,
They dress up like they're dressed up in the lamest shit.
Yeah, the first
like
one,
they wear
they
like
have
Letterman's jackets.
Yeah.
Then they wear fucking newsy outfits.
By
and-
the way, Letterman's jackets is horrible. It's puffy. You can't move right. No one can see your arms and body movements.
And then they dress up as steampunk.
Oh, yeah.
Immigrants.
Well, he's walking in with a suitcase in the beginning.
Papa!
I think that was what he's supposed to be, right?
So yeah, and the final one where it ends
From
up
a
being
steampunk future.
Elementrix versus the Grim Knights. Grim Knights is dressed up almost maybe like samurai-ish thing, Mortal Kombat. I don't even know what it. Chinese.
No one battles
Chinese
samurai
warriors?
just once.
I don't even know. And then yes, Elementrix is like steampunk.
I think that we glazed over is that glazed
with frosting.
Is that Elementrix knocks out the mob.
Yeah.
Kicks them out of the competition.
They're gone.
And we learned that the Grim Knights are cheating.
Yes.
The Grim Knights, the main dude, what's his face? Jabroni. Jasper Jabroni.
Is dating a Braga.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
We can. Oh yeah. We can't say her name.
I'm trying not to
Sorry,
say
I was like, what?
the A word.
Got it.
The host of the Vortex.
And then so they overhear that it's rigged, and the Grim Knights are gonna open up for the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
By the way, they also have like a scene of them two canoodling that is horrifying, and they start making out aliens or people who are not human kissing.
And then they show outtakes of it in the credits, and it's worse.
Yeah. She like kind of like licks his face and like bites off.
They
his
don't
nose.
understand how people like each other.
Yeah. So
they're beings of pure contempt.
Elementrix decides to cheat themselves
by
adding more dancers to the crew for last
battle. So
Oh.
Sean has to fuck it up because Andy's like, hey, it doesn't matter that it's fixed. Let's go out there. We have a platform. Let's show people we got. Like, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. I care about this. And Sean's like, it's not good enough. Like, fuck this. Brr. Like, why even dance? It's gonna be humiliating. And then the whole crew breaks up and decides to leave
they
again.
kind of break up. Yeah.
Dancers.
Sean, go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying dancers in this series have a very hard time looking behind them.
Yes.
Because when everyone has a big happy thing, and it's like, this dance crew's behind you. And guess what? There's a whole other dance crew behind you. And guess what? The mob is behind you.
Also, your parents are back from the dead, and they're behind you.
Like every movie has this thing where it's like, it's never gonna happen, and it's like, nope. Like there's a clown car full of people who love you.
Deus Ex dance crew. Oh my god, yeah. Stupid.
I was gonna say at one point they're all at a bar and Moose's song comes on, and so they all egg him on and he like does a little dance in the bar.
Apparently it's Moose's song. I don't know.
Yeah, and some random hoe who's having her bachelorette party just plants ones on him, and turns out that Camille and his grandparents are standing right there. And Camille gets so angry that she immediately transports herself all the way back to Los Angeles.
I know, I was like,
the grandparents are like, meh, whatever, and they just stay.
Moose travels back and forth from LA like
Moose
5
leaves,
times.
So they leave, and then but they don't address it. Like, they don't get another scene with the grandparents, and then we get in the boxing ring battle. Moose's grandparents are there rooting them on, like in the background. Which seems like it was probably
and then at the end,
mistake.
they give Sean a pep talk, too.
The grandparents are like, fuck that, we're going to stay and see the final battle.
No, but that happens after they're in the background of that scene.
I didn't even see it.
So Moose goes back to the roof of their LA apartment building to find Camille, and she's basically just like, I made you chase me all the way to here to Los Angeles because not only when I saw you with that girl, I was jealous of her for kissing you, but also I was jealous of you because you were dancing and having the time of your life.
Yeah.
And
This is the part where I wanted to be like,
again
next.
for the second time, and so I'm going to be in the dance crew also now, and so then they run back to Las Vegas.
That's a lesson to all of you guys. Treat your girlfriend and best friend like shit, and she'll always forgive you.
Yeah.
Every time.
Apparently.
And she'll kiss you after you've been wanting to kiss her
It irritated
forever.
me how much they like done this character dirty. Like, she is so lame.
No, yeah, it's not
And
okay.
it's like Allison Stoner was famous way before Adam Savani Moose was famous. Like, he only became famous because he was in a commercial with her. And somehow she's been relegated to this like lame girlfriend role, even though she can dance.
Yeah.
Like, even when she joins the crew in the final battle, when she comes out to do her little 2 seconds of the dance, it's just like lame, like swinging back and forth with Moose's arms around her.
Yeah,
like any of us could have done the part that she did in the final dance.
It's about
really
them like
sad.
hugging in front of everyone. Like,
And she's an incredible dancer, so I don't understand why they just don't let her dance.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
All right, so the final battle. What can we say about it?
It is the mob, it is Elementrix, and
A few other people.
yeah.
Miscellaneous other.
So yeah,
peeps.
Camille joins in as well, and then Robot Girl also,
Yeah, she also
all of a
joins.
sudden joins their
Did
crew.
the other twins join them, or did they just dance?
At the very
end,
end,
at
yeah.
the end.
After the Grim Knights lose, the Santiago twins seduce hot twin number 1 and 2 from the Grim Knights, because everybody knows that pairs of twins get together.
I know, and I was like,
always.
also like, come on, these twins decided like early on in their lives, like we're both gonna learn to dance the exact same way, and also these other girl twins did the same thing.
Apparently they did. Because they actually can dance and they are
Those
twins.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm just like, how
Both-
often
both
does that
of them.
happen? They're like, we're gonna be dancing twins.
So on the 3D level, we've got people that have come out of the sand. I don't know how they were breathing, but Moose starts dancing like a pit
they
of
had
sand.
masks.
No, it was cool. Like
They
it was
come out like the toys in Toy Story.
It was a magic trick because it was like Moose walks out with the suitcase, puts the suitcase out, then the sand falls, and then like there's 4 dancers buried in the sand.
Oh.
I thought they were all gonna come out of the suitcase. One person comes out of the suitcase, and I was like, oh shit, they're gonna all come out.
Well, from these movies, as you know, dance crews can be anywhere. So
true.
you would be right to think that.
There's a part where all of a sudden these fire poi people have joined their dance crew, and so they start spinning the fire poi, and then Andy comes out with like a staff that just has fire on one end,
Yeah.
and it's like CGI fire, and then she like spins it around directly into
She's
the
pushing it at
camera
camera the whole
lens.
time.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
the-
this CGI fire.
yeah, and everyone that's watching, like the Grim Knights, are like, "Oh shit, no, not fire, no, this can't be happening."
It's not like water. We're prepared for water. Moose is known for his water.
no, oh my god.
So yeah, literally anybody can just join this crew now, and yeah. Oh, there was a throwback to the air vent from Step Up 3D.
Really?
Because there was a part where Andy and 2 of the other guys were like, the sand thing became an air vent eventually, and it was blowing like all their hair and like
Oh,
skirts
God.
up. So yeah.
Basically, the movie ends, and they never announce the winner, but they just know that they won.
No, they do because the what's
No,
her face?
they never
What's her-
announce the winner.
what's her
you
face
guys.
famous
gets a
pop
phone
star
call.
gets a phone call that's like,
Yeah, but
they're gonna win.
They're on a live show, ostensibly, or
Yeah.
filming some sort of show, and they never announce who wins, but everyone just crowds around them like, yeah! They
didn't
said they
care
were
anymore
tallying
who would
votes
win.
too, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, they never get to win, and then it just goes to a slow motion, like, I dance for Prancetown.
So,
You
and
dance.
Andy
dance,
lets Sean throw her in the air at the end, and then she gets
She does a
caught.
weird CG dance move.
Yeah.
It was not that impressive, you guys.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, we've seen people do stuff like that in every dance before.
He catches her and then puts her down. Wow.
And
No, he catches her like with his crotch, and then
yeah, over the course of 3 shots, also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
and then for the first time in this series, over the credits, we get a blooper reel.
Oh! And it's other people dancing. It's like, yeah, it's not even.
There's
really
a weird blooper where Sean spanks Andy.
That blooper is disturbing. Yeah.
And she's like doing like a booty shake, and then he like slaps her on the ass, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And that was like in the bloopers.
Yeah.
I did not think that was good.
It's not good.
I was like,
it was
what?
like that's not fun.
Yeah,
like,
why would you put that out there?
A sexual harassment.
I guess they were really
Back
close.
in 2014, you could just get away with everything.
Yeah.
It was pre-Weinstein.
Wait, are they married?
Yeah, did they get married in real life?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
No. So a few things. This character Violet that just kind of randomly joins their crew because apparently she knows Andy. She's like actually super famous. She's this choreographer named Paris Goebel who made like 13 short films for Justin Bieber when he made his like visual Wannabe Lemonade album. And she's from New Zealand, and I guess her accent was so thick or something that they like ADR'd her all her speaking.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know about all of it, but definitely a lot of it because her ADR for just her is like in IMDb, but as like some other lady. So
Oh, they must have done a good job. I didn't even notice.
I figured it was something like that. I mean, she shoehorned in pretty hard.
yeah, she's a big deal. She's Bieber's longtime choreographer.
Oh, wow.
And she's credited as like a partial choreographer on this too, not one of the main ones.
And
but-
it was the same, like Jacob Sims, I think
Yeah,
his name is,
same
and
people.
the guy who plays Hare was, again, a choreographer too, so. They're just running out of ideas.
I also
think.
thought
I
it
think
was
so.
funny how we talked about how they showed all the names in the beginning, but the "and" of the credits was Adam G. Savani, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's the "and"? Like, okay.
I think he's the most recognizable person out of all of them. As far as the series
for
goes.
this series, yes.
Yeah,
I know that Alison Stoner
Allison
is.
Stoner, and then also
bigger-
Twitch is more famous than him too.
Yeah, but for the
Not
But not an
series.
actor. Yeah,
for the
not an
series,
actor.
everyone's like, "Oh my god, Moose!" They said in the special features that like when they go out, like the girls just flock to him, and they have to fight them off. That's what they said.
When they go out, where?
When they go to the premieres and stuff, it's like all the girls are like, "Oh my god, Moose!" Oh.
So also, what are the
I could
rules?
see it.
This movie is rated PG-13. Yet
You get one fuck.
you
They
get
say
one-
fuck,
So
yeah.
is that the rule? You get to say fuck once.
You get one fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. At the end, Sean just yells out, "We're gonna bring the fucking house down!" Like out of nowhere, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I thought that was
Sean,
weird.
like not necessary. Okay. Anybody else have anything to say about this movie?
Alison Stoner said that she's really close with Adam Savani, and so they're like brother and sister kind of. And she was like, so when they kiss, she was like, "It's like kissing my brother." It's super
gross.
super gross.
I
Yeah.
think that there's like interesting themes happening in this movie, but none of them end up actually being interesting.
Yeah, this one had the least amount of like plot. I mean, there was plot, but it was just so like. I mean,
I don't know that I believed Andy and this guy would go for each other.
No,
Yeah.
they would hate each other.
I was totally shoehorned. I was like, she's too cool to be going out with
They
this
kind of
guy.
started out like focusing on the fact that both of them wanted to be the leader, but then they kind of just abandoned it and made it about the whole trust and throwing.
Yeah,
it in
and
the
the end
air
of the
thing.
movie is them like making out right
Yeah.
after they finish dancing, and I'm like, really?
All of it. It's like the same thing. It's like Moose was shitty.
Yeah.
He sucked.
But Camille is still by his side.
Yep.
And he gets the girl, I guess.
Everyone gets the girl. Robot
Yeah.
guy gets the girl. The twins get the girls.
Robot guy opened up his heart to that girl.
Oh, creepy ballroom dancing cologne guy
That's-
that we didn't even talk about. He gets to make out with.
Yeah, after he's been like freaking creeping on her on Violet the entire movie.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
like,
being a real gross weirdo.
Yeah. He did have a really funny line about like
oh, I know what you're gonna say.
he was like, "Yeah, so what? I cha-cha with cougars. They dig it. It pays the bills." Chicks dig it. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say about when he said, "Wow, why do pot stickers taste so much different in Las Vegas?" And Jenny's like, "'Cause they're egg rolls."
Which was a funny line.
Because they're egg rolls.
They gave her more in this movie.
Yeah, and her and what was his name? Oh, Chad, the creepy guy, Cha-Cha Chad. Jenny and him kind of had some like detective moments where they like snuck around the hotel.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they were
yeah.
the ones that overheard the rigged dance competition conversation.
Right.
So.
That was fun.
All right, so Step Up.
That was the last Step Up film. So what do you guys think of the series as a whole? Did you have fun with it?
I had way more fun than I thought I would. I thought that the shared universe stuff was awesome. Even in this one, like, I didn't like this movie, but it was fun. Like, I feel like for a fifth movie, it's not the worst fifth movie we've ever seen, especially when it comes
It's
from
actually the only fifth movie we've ever seen.
True.
Well, you might have seen other fifth movies.
Yes, in life, yeah.
But like,
It's no Empire Strikes Back.
in terms of carrying threads and kind of playing lip service to the other movies in the series, when the DNA of what makes the Step Up movies is so simple.
Yeah.
It's easy to continue that formula across 5 movies, and I don't think that all the way across the board that any one of them really betrays itself, like even some of the American Tail movies did.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's some dumb shit where like let's retcon this, but
yeah, they totally like.
But
erased
it kind of kept the stakes the same. It kind of reconfigured things and kept the characters throughout more than any other series we've ever had.
Yeah. That was the thing that was most interesting to me, that they actually built a universe. Like, I was not expecting, I was just like assuming it was going to be different dance crew, different random people dancing every film. And they totally Fast and Furious it.
Yeah, I really like that shared universe. I think now that we're at the end, it was a lot more compelling to me than any of the love stories in the last bottom 4 of the series. Like, I really did not care anymore about these random white protagonists in every movie. I really just wanted to see more of like the side characters.
The thing that I'll say about this movie is, I love the idea of taking a romantic lead from 2 and taking a romantic lead from 4 and saying like, hey, like, you end these picture perfect teen movies.
That's true.
And move it. Like, I wrote down, like, this is the Rocky Balboa of the Step Up movies, where it's like, oh, like, we're Rocky, we didn't. And it's like, you know what? Life's disappointing. Shit happens. Like, we're doing it for the love of it. And I think that there's a lot of things that if this movie did it right, it has the elements and it has the things in the script, if they were executed the way that I'd want to see them, to be one of my favorite like sequels of all time.
Yeah,
like,
I could have said something nice about moving on and having
it's trying to, like, someone had that idea.
Yeah.
And so like that on paper I fucking love. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that it tried to do that. It just is so much more disappointing that
It's just
fails.
like they every film they're like, is this movie about good storytelling or about dancing?
Yeah.
And they always go to the dancing side, obviously.
But like they could have done both, and and the Vegas thing gave them the actual most plausible. Hey, now we're just gonna cut to a giant crazy dance sequence. Like, it had the most plausible frame, it had the most promising setup, and it falls flat in every respect.
They would have had to hire writers who have Wikipedia pages, though.
Yes, yeah. Yep. But you know what I mean? Like how crazy would that be to see, characters that we've over the years, over the weeks for us.
Dwayne Adler's characters.
Yeah.
Each movie says based on characters by Dwayne Adler.
I'm gonna bite my tongue in terms of the head of my film department at my college, but is responsible for the characters in another movie.
What? That's crazy.
Rush Hour. Which characters?
Oh man, let's get him on the show.
Sorry, we're in the middle, so go.
I just think that it's very, very disappointing because there was a lot of potential for this movie, and I think that it's very much squandered.
Yeah.
And we get the worst dancing.
Yeah.
It was the worst dancing. It was so weird.
I know.
Because it didn't have the chemistry of Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum, and then it just didn't have the awesomeness of the other three movies.
very
I mean,
weird,
I thought 2 had really bad dancing, but then the end is
redeemed
great.
it all. Yeah, that was the Hail
I still
Mary.
think maybe 3 has the best
It
sequences.
does, yeah.
I think 3 has the best sequences.
So we never grappled with the question of race and cultural appropriation. I'm sad.
Yeah.
We finally got, half Mexican Sean. And the Miami one came the closest to talking about race a little bit with the gentrification, but we
Revolution.
never really... then they just abandoned that by this one, by
Yeah.
setting it in Vegas and just bringing... I mean, I guess it's good. They just bring everybody of all different races together, and
Yeah.
it's not specifically cultural. And I guess it's not so much about the two main characters being white others.
Still
but,
led by the white people.
Yeah.
I think that like there's something interesting about this that I don't want to get too deep into because we have to wrap up. But going forward into other series, I feel like that this like 4 like we accept the bullshit of the mob and their Miami contrived shit because it was still very much in the world of the Pirates and House of Samurai in 3.
Right.
Like 3 seemed like a crazy progression from 1 and 2, but it fit in the world and it seemed like a natural extension. And 5 or All In does this thing where it tries to go tongue in cheek and call out the silliness of those
Yeah.
things, and it makes the House of Cards collapse.
Well, yeah, and then there's just a disconnect. Like, the movie is bringing in all the all-stars from the
Right.
previous films, but then the dance sequences just don't hold their weight.
They
so
don't
the whole
hold
movie
up.
you're expecting like something amazing, at least for the final thing, and then even that is
It
like
really just shows that the important element is not necessarily the individual dancers, although some of them are very important. It's like the choreography and the
Right.
design.
I
and
think something that's really important about this is that it's not. I think it's the premise of the TV show that kills it. It gives the most proper justification of these crazy dances, but it takes away from the universe that they built of like, no, like there's this thing called the streets and you go dance, like it's just crazy fucking dancing that like it's this underground that nobody
Right. knows
knows about. And like, that's what you have to do. And then to put it in Vegas and give it a natural justification for these bigger, quote unquote, I'm doing giant air quotes.
Props.
Big,
So many props.
so many props. It makes
Props and
it
costumes.
makes it seem lame and like it
it
goes
makes
back,
it seem like Vegas.
and it goes back to the advertising thing of
Yeah.
like of all the auditions. Like it makes it feel like that they're not that everything we saw in the previous movies was naive bullshit.
Yeah.
So there's 5 of these, so it's a little bit difficult to rank them all. Especially for me, I felt that they were really like it's almost like I see 2 elements in each movie, so it's hard to rank them like on a 1 through 5 scale.
Right.
You got your dancing and you've got your story. So I would say best dancing is Step Up 3D, best story is Step Up with Channing Tatum. So I don't know if you have a different opinion on the order.
No, I think that's probably right. I think Step Up 3D has, the best dancing in my opinion.
Yep.
And then, I mean, all the stories were kind of bad, but
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
Step Up 1, I guess I'd have to agree.
Just because I think those 2 actors are so charming, even if you don't know that they're
Yeah.
together in real
Right.
life, that's like the highest quality of actor that they got through
That's
this whole
true.
series.
Skinny dies in that movie.
Skinny
A
actually
right.
freaking
A
died.
child
It was
dies.
real, like,
Yeah.
the first movie dealt with some serious S. Okay?
I would say that 3 has the best dancing, 1 has the best chemistry, and it's probably the best movie. I think the one I was most surprised by is 4 in retrospect. Like I thought that the flash mob thing was really dumb, and as I was watching it, I hated it. but it was trying to in the world that the movie set up, it made sense. And I thought that it would be my least favorite one, and All In is definitely my least favorite one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, before we completely leave the Step Up series, I have one surprise for you guys. There is actually a 6th Step Up film. I don't know if anyone happened to see this.
On the horizon?
I think so. There was announced a couple years ago and shot a Chinese Step Up film. A Chinese language film. And it was supposed to be released last year, but now Wikipedia says 2018.
Oh my god.
And it's definitely a thing. Like, I tried really hard to see if it had been released in China or something, and it doesn't look like it's been released. But There's definitely like behind the scenes footage and like a bunch of articles about it. So
Step up to the wall.
It's coming at some point. Step Up 6.
So if we ever get our hands on this Chinese DVD, we will definitely do a bonus episode to catch you up on that.
Yeah,
and I
think
mean
we
it
might be
because
doing
I
it.
own a DVD copy of High School Musical China.
That's right. So we might be revisiting Step Up at some time.
Oh
in
boy,
the
I
future.
hope so.
I mean,
Is Moose in it?
I don't know. I don't know. That would be really crazy. But yeah, so that's going to bring us to the end of Step Up for now.
Indeed.
We are going to be cruising right on with another new episode next week where we're going to be talking about the Chuck Norris starring film Missing in Action. And if you guys want to follow along, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can shell out some money for an awesome Blu-ray from Shout Factory.
Shout out to Shout Factory.
We always love them. They have the best special features, the best 2K transfers, sometimes 4K transfers. Depends on the film. If you don't want to do that, you might be able to find the film elsewhere on the internet. Perhaps
There's also like DVDs floating around.
Yeah, there's DVDs.
Right?
Yeah, there's actually you can buy the whole franchise on one DVD if you want. So there's ways to watch it.
Absolutely.
Any way you want. So I'm excited about that. I haven't seen them or any of it. It's going to be great.
I've seen Missing in Action 1, and oh boy.
I have no idea what this... I know, like, the Chuck Norris jokes, and that's literally all I know. So, yeah, we'll find out.
There's a Chuck Norris movie called Lone Wolf McQuade, where he's buried in a quarry in his car, and he wakes up and he's buried underneath all this rock, and he has a 6-pack of beer in his car with him. He wakes up, pours half the beer on himself, then drinks the rest of it, and then guns his car till he drives out of 30 feet of solid rock.
This is the caliber of film we are about to watch.
All right.
We wanted an action film. We're bringing it to you.
That's right.
Next week. In the meantime, Eliz, how can people keep up with us?
You can tweet at us at Sequel Rights or find us on Instagram at Sequel Rights, as well as like us on Facebook.com/Sequel Rights.
And Tyler,
if you could tell us why you dance in our 5-star iTunes reviews, nothing would make us happier. I was actually really surprised at how much I actually enjoyed the Step Up series. I had a lot of fun doing it.
It was fun.
Hope you guys did too. And if you did, rate and review us on iTunes. It means a lot.
Yeah, and shoot us an email at sequelrights@gmail.com.
Yes, sorry, I forgot that. Also, it's the first time we did 5 movies, and it was also the first time we had special guests, so we just want to thank Megan and Kyle again for
Thank you guys.
helping us out with this
it was
series.
awesome. Hopefully we'll have more guests in the future for you. In the meantime, we'll see you guys next week for Missing in Action.
Can you see it? The worst is over. The monsters in my head are scared of love. Funny people, listen up. It's never too late to change your luck. So don't let them steal